Hi guys, it's Dakota. I hope everybody's doing well. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about the animal bones, animal parts. Um, and before you send me any hate mail, yes, I do use them in my craft. I use them sometimes in spell work. I use them on my altars. Some of them are just used for display. My everything that I have, I was either given to me by someone, or I found in nature, or I have purchased some through legal sources. So a lot of the bones that I have, my smaller bones, I purchased through our local pagan pride, and so yeah, so I know that it can be a weird thing. It can be like a weird and icky kind of weird thing, but I think if you understand that circle of life, that, or let's just say, the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. That is sort of what it's about. So when I find something, when I find a skeletal remain, or even a feather, something as what we think is as simple as a feather, I get really giddy. I get really excited, and I thank the universe. I thank the animal for the gift. I consider these items gifts. They are treasures and they are sacred gifts, and I treat them as such. So I don't, and nor does my husband, hunt. We are not hunters. I am not, and part of me, if you hunt, I am not judging you. I just don't get the mentality. I do know that you cannot have an overpopulation of deer. It can be very dangerous for us when we're driving down the road at 50, 60 miles an hour, and a deer runs out in front of you. It can kill you. I understand that. I just got done recording a video on my camera, which I'm going to share with you in the next week or two, about the harvesting of the trees, the harvesting of woods, and the harvesting of forest, and the defacing of planet Earth and our mother, and so I do get that it can be very dangerous, but let me rephrase this. If you are a sport hunter, I don't appreciate that, and I have a very hard time respecting that. If you're going to go out and hunt whatever it is, then I would hope that you would use every single part of that animal. I know that that doesn't happen with everybody. How do I know that? Because I see the dead carcasses that have been left in the woods. You shoot them, you take the antlers, you cut off the meat that you want, the venison that you want, and then you just leave it there to rot. All of it. You just leave it there to rot. In my opinion, that is extremely disrespectful. Disrespectful to the animal, disrespectful to the universe, disrespectful to others who happen upon it. My opinion, and I'm allowed to have my opinion. If you don't agree, I respect that you don't agree. If you don't agree with me, then I would appreciate that you at least respect my opinion. All right, so why do I have all these trophies then? Well, because someone went out and hunted this deer. What they did with it, I have no idea. This actually was purchased for me. Oh, look. Was purchased for me, and someone saw it. I don't know where, because I know here, at least in North Carolina, we can't sell these. I cannot sell these in my store. Can't sell antlers in my store. And So anyway, this particular set, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and I have given it sacred space. It sits, my altar is kind of two pieces. I have my altar table, and on the table sits is a it's like a cabinet, I guess. It's a my altar table is an old primitive. It's called a baker's cabinet. So it has a table, and then up above it, there's a little cabinet that has two screen doors, and then there's a shelf. And I leave the doors open, and I use the shelves for display. And this has always sat there. So that is where this goes. This was a gift. I have lots of antlers. Deer aplenty here in eastern North Carolina. I'm sad about it, but at the same time, if someone gifts me or I see a deer head or an antler or something like that, I try to, I try to get it because I literally bless it, I anoint it, I give it sacred space. I don't just toss it in a box in the garage, it's like I honor it. I really do, and its life, and I thank it for its life and all that it gave and all that it sacrificed. And so this one, let me change hands here. There we go. All right. So this one, I actually don't know where I got it. I actually do not know where I got it, but it has its teeth. This is a prayer mala that I made for it, and I make these, actually I make these prayer malas and I sell them in the store, all different things. They don't come with the deer head, but I make them for all different things. But anyway, and so this one also sits on the shelf above my devotional space. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Now, this one was given to me. I got a box of antlers from somebody. I don't even remember who it was or when it was, but someone gave me a box of antlers. They are a hunt. They hunt. They are a hunter. I do remember that. I think now I remember who it was. They hunt. Now, I don't know if they got this one, but young. Anyway, this one sits on the devotional altar, and it leans up on my God statue. So this one has honors, been consecrated to my God, for my God, to my God, for my God. And I also have this one on my altar for the same reason. So these also have sacred space, but they have been consecrated to my God. One of the gods that I work with. Okay, what else do I want to show you? I have so much stuff. All right. For small bones. This is I got this, I don't know where. And I think it's not just a cow bone. I think it's a cow bone. And the way that it sits right here, I bought it specifically for a crystal sphere that I have, a round ball sphere, crystal sphere. I didn't bring it out, I should have. And it sits perfectly on here. So I use it as a sphere holder on my altar. So this goes on my devotional altar. Now the bones that are actually on the altar, with the exception of those two, are for my goddess. So these are hers, given to her, and hers, and she won't let you have them back. This is a Canadian goose bone, and I bought this at Pagan Pride. This is what I was told So if you know different, make a comment. This is what I was told. This is, I cannot remember, but I want to say was a duck vertebrae. I really don't know. All right, okay, little. That goes in her bowl. I want to say that this is a snake vertebrae, but I'm not sure. And again, all of these bones stay on her altar, in her bowl. These are hers. This I found in the woods. So it must be, I don't know, fox vertebrae, coyote, deer, bird. I have no idea. If you know, feel free to leave a comment. Found that in the woods right here at the house. All right. Now this bone, I don't really feel this bone. I don't really like this bone. But you know, I've tried to remove this bone from her bowl and like to give her something else. I don't know what it is about this. I just don't, I don't like it. But I don't even remember where I got it. Probably Pagan Pride, I'm not sure. But it is a cow, it's cow tooth. And I don't know. I don't like it. I don't work with that one. It's just in her bowl. And these wishbones, I have a ton of them. Here's why. When you eat chicken, keep your wishbone, and don't just make a wish and break it. I use these all the time for manifestation spells. What a great bone, and easily accessible. And I just clean them, clean all the meat off of them, and I save them. And when I'm doing a manifestation spell, depending on what it is that I'm doing, I will use the wishbone. Throw that into your spell. It works good. This I love, and I do sell these at the store. I haven't had any in quite a while. Now, I know this has been somewhat processed, but this is either an alligator or a crocodile tooth, and I'm pretty sure that they're sharper than that, but I'm not sure. And it's been polished, of course, and cleaned. But what I really like about these is that they're sort of hollow on the like at the very top. It's hollow. Hope you can see that. And so what's really awesome about these is you can fill that with herbs or put some little stone chips in there or whatever it is that you want to put in there. And then you can seal it with, melt some candle wax on there and seal it closed. And then you can use that as a little amulet. You can put it in a mojo or a gree bag. You can do whatever you want with it. Yeah. So that is, and like I said, we, gosh, we used to sell these. I'll have to, I don't know whatever happened to, I'll have to look that up and try to remember what company I got those from. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of a neat thing. You can fill them and then seal them. Now, as far as, okay, wait, let me show you these two things, and then I'm going to talk about that. All right, the next thing I have to show you, this is a porcupine claw. A porcupine claw, right? Porcupine claw. And all of these bones that I've showed you stay in my goddess, my patron goddess, her bowl. And so these are hers. So I don't really use these for, with the exception of this one, which I use for the stand, but that sphere is hers. So whatever. So these are just some of the bones that are in her little bowl. And so I don't use those for magic. Now I will bring those out if I'm doing devotions with her, or I'm doing, ritual specifically for her, something like that, and I feel the need to pull the bones, then I will. But I don't use them for any other magical purposes. I want to show you this real quick. This is a Luna moth, Chrysalis. Yeah, I found it in my garden. And it took me a while. I was like, what is that? I had never seen one. And if you've watched any of my videos, or if you know me, you know I have arachnophobia dangerously bad. And I was very, very afraid. I was afraid. But I looked it up and finally found out that it was a Luna moth chrysalis. And I made sure that my husband, shined the light in there and looked to make sure there was no little spidery eggs in there or anything like that. Because like I have arachnophobia really, really bad. I'm seriously really bad. Okay. This is, now I was told, all right, I don't even remember where I got this. That is the truth. I want to say that I got it at an auction, but I know I didn't, because they're not allowed to sell bones at auction. So I really don't know where I got it. But anyway, I was told that this is a cat skull, like just a, like a domestic cat. But, I don't know. I don't know if it is. That's a big head for a cat. So, but yet the teeth, it doesn't have the front teeth. The front teeth are missing. And see how it's got the two holes right here? So that would be, the fangs. And then cats have these little teeny, teeny, teeny teeth right across here. And that's why they said it was a cat skull. And so it may be. But this is my goddess's prized possession. This is hers as well. And this sits right on her altar with her. She did give me permission to show and tell these items here that I'm showing you. Just to be clear. This is something that I have no idea where I got most of this. Some of this stuff I've had for 30-something years. I've been collecting. I collect bones and animal parts, pelts, all different things. I've done that for years. And so some of the things I do use in magic, and other things they're just displayed. Most of them have a place. There's a rhyme and a reason for them. Sometimes they're just display, like I said, but the ones, but they're still given sacred space, like they're still giving or a sacred blessing, for their life, that sort of thing. A caiman? I don't know. I've never seen a caiman. Alligator? Crocodile? You see these all the time, in touristy type places. I think these alligators, or whatever this is, I think that they're legal to hunt. Maybe, I don't know, probably certain times of year. And then, of course, they're cleaned, and then these are sold. So, but they do eat the meat. So, I mean, I'd rather, as long as they're using the parts to eat and feed their families, I'd rather have the remembrance than to just throw this in the trash and burn it, I guess. But anyway, this sits on that shelf that I told you about. I have lots of bones up there and skulls and stuff. So this sits up there, and I'm going to actually be using this coming up in the next couple of months. I've been working this year with he's a conjureman, he's a root worker, and we're doing a year and a day class. When I met him, it was really interesting, because when I met him, he really wanted to work with me, and I said, look, because I was asking him some questions about roots and some spell work and stuff, and Um, and, you know, and I said, the thing is, like, I'm not a root worker. I'm not a conjure person. I'm definitely witchcraft, a goddess worshiper, and, you know, a tree hugger, all of that. And he said, I'll work with you and we'll put it together, because some of the things that he does, or, you know, that he works with, doesn't resonate with me. And, like, you know, working with saints and archangels and things, it just doesn't resonate with me. I'm not saying I'm close to it. If it comes, it comes, but it's real difficult for me. I don't feel it. And if I don't feel a connection, then I'm certainly not going to do the work. Just because somebody says the work requires that you work with Saint so-and-so, then I'm not going to do that, because that's like saying, you know, okay, well, I'm going to eat this broccoli even though I don't like it, you know, and then tell you how delicious it was. I'm not going to do that. So, but anyway, we've been discussing working with this for some stuff coming up, which brings me to this. When you are working with an animal part, whether it is the skull, whether it's just a bone, the head, the pelt, the claw, you know, I collect cat claws and cat whiskers. I've been collecting those ever since I had a cat. I've got a whole box full of claws and whiskers. I use them in my magic. You know, those are gifts. Those are gifts. And so they need to be treated respectfully. So you want to make sure that you, when you're working with an item, a bone or whatever it is, and you're actually going to be working with it, like if you do bone readings, you know, you can't just collect your bones. These are not the bones I use for my readings, but you can't just collect bones and go, oh, there's a bone and I'll just throw it in with my collection. You need to know about that bone. So if this is indeed a Canadian goose bone, then I need to know about the Canadian goose. What are their characteristics? What do they like to eat? What is their, you know, what do they do? You know, that kind of thing. And just all of that. So that when you do a reading, or if you pull this to use in your work, you know what it's for. You have to know what it's for, not, oh, I'm going to use this because it's cool, it's a bone. I mean, that's ridiculous. You have to know what it's for and what the energy is that it's going to produce, or that you're trying to bring about. Okay, I found this. This turtle shell, and it was broken right here, and I did glue it, and I did not do a great job, and the glue was supposed to be invisible, but as you can see, it was not, because I clumped it, I think. And so I'm going to work on it. I'm going to sand that down a little bit and see if I can't make it a little bit nicer, look nicer. And then I have not even cleaned the inside yet. You can see it. I'm going to make a rattle out of it. So I will drill holes in the edge of the shell, and I will attach something to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to drill. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do that. I really don't want to drill any holes in the shell. But anyway, I'm going to attach whatever it is to this. I'll put beans or rice or whatever it is to give it a good sound, and then it'll be on a stick for a rattle. So, you know, for trance or whatever. Much like this. So remember the porcupine claw. This is the porcupine skull. These teeth. I got this from a gentleman who's Native American. His name is John. Hi, John, if you're watching. Who is able? He actually has a card, so he's able to get on the reservations and purchase and do whatever from the reservations. So he buys a lot of his animal parts on the reservation, and then he is able to actually go about and sell them where I cannot. Like, I cannot sell this, and I wouldn't anyway. But he painted the top with this Native American little design here, and then in the eye sockets, and then along here he attached vintage antique sleigh bells, and then it has rabbit fur here, and a leather handle here with leather, and then these are called, I want to say they're called, I don't know, I think they're just called cones, but they're copper cones. I use this often in my journey work, or my like when I'm doing trance or that kind of work. I use that for calling that energy. And that's another thing, you know, if you're going to work, you know, the bones and stuff and animal pelts, they've been around in witchcraft, or the indigenous people used them, shamans, for probably since the beginning of time. They used animal parts for their rituals, for their religious practices. If you remember watching Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner, where he makes friends with that Native American tribe or whatever, and they're getting ready to go buffalo hunting, and so they do an actual ceremonial dance, a ceremonial ritual, and they are wearing buffalo hides with the head and everything, and those that aren't are doing this, and they're doing this dance and this chant, and that's all about bringing the spirit of the buffalo to life, and they're asking for the spirit of the buffalo to come forward. So even though they know they're going to kill them, not one hair on that buffalo goes to waste. They use everything, the meat, the fur, everything. They make tools out of the bones. So nothing goes to waste. And so it's a whole honor thing that they do for, it's very sacred that they do. And so they use the pelts for that. And speaking of pelts, you know, I couldn't tell you how many animal pelts or rabbit pelts I have. And I do purchase these. I purchase them. Anyway, I have one over there. I've got several upstairs. I have them at the store. I have them everywhere. This is one of the things. This is a little fox pelt, and this would go on, you could make it on your ritual crown if you wanted to. If you were trying to invoke the spirit of fox, if you were doing ritual that incorporated the energies and the qualities and the powers of fox, you want a message from fox, you would make a little, you know, you could make a little crown and wear it. So I'm not sure where I got that. I think I got that at Pagan Pride. So yeah, so I have that, and I just used it. I just found it. Couldn't have got that at Pagan Pride. I just found it yesterday when I was cleaning up. I was going through this old steamer trunk, and I found this bag, and I'm like, what is in this bag? And there was all kinds of neat little goodies in there, and I actually used this on my Lunasa altar, so it worked out really nicely. Okay, then I have, I'm saving the best to last. Then I have this, and I forget what it's called. I forget what these are called. It's a horn. It's you know, one of their horns, and I forget what it's called. But I don't use this for magical purposes. I do use it. It is on that shelf with all my other collection. I have used this on my altars, though, depending on what it is that I'm doing, just to bring about that energy. and I have not researched it because I don't use it for magic. I've used it only as display. All right. The other thing that I used to have issues with, the one thing that they can sell at auction, like they cannot sell antlers or a deer head or a fish, anything that is wildlife, they are not allowed to sell, but they do sell them. So they will sell a deer head that's been mounted, but when they go to sell it, they'll tell you, I'm selling this piece of wood right here. Nothing on the wood. I'm just selling the piece of wood. If you want what's on the wood, then you need to buy the piece of wood. I mean, it's really funny. But they can sell these are mink. And these are what the ladies used to wear back in the day around their necks. And so I don't know how they get away with it, but nobody wanted them. And I bought these strings. I'm not kidding you. I never paid more than $5 for a whole thing of mink. And I just have them sort of displayed around my witchy room. I just like the energy. I hate the fact that they were sacrificed for fashion. They weren't used for anything else. They didn't eat the meat or anything like that. And it's just really sad. All right, getting close to the end here. I'm going to say my favorite piece in the whole world till last. All right. This piece I bought in California, and you know that I've lived here in Eastern North Carolina now for going on, I think it's 28 years now, or 29 years, something like that. So I bought this at a powwow in California, and I absolutely love it. I am going to, however, I'm going to sell it. So this is a bag, purse, whatever, and it is a white fox. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. With Native American or First Nations beading. It's quite large. You can see that's probably easily 1.5 feet maybe. These white are bone. I just have them hanging in an area for display. So, all right, my favorite piece in the whole world. I bought this from John. It is something that I struggled with for a while, but when I saw it, I connected like I've never connected before with spirit of animal. And what's really interesting is it's not really, as far as I know, or it hasn't come forward yet, it is not my animal totem. But for whatever reason, it just was. And again, I struggled with it, and you're going to see why. All right. It's a wolf. It's a wolf paw. antler that's been carved out with a wolf print, leather, all beaded, the wolf paw. I just put this little string on because I do use this in ritual and in certain power things that I do. Ancestor work. This is so special to me. This is so special to me. So, those are some of my treasures, some of the things that I work with. Again, I do work with animal parts in my magic, in my spell work, in my meditations, in my trance work, in my journey work with the ancestors. And you know, if we talk about that, you know, the whole bone thing and how, oh, that's eerie and stuff. You know, you think about Halloween and everybody has got skeletons all over the place. Now we have, you know, for decoration, we've got, I saw the other day a skeleton dachshund, you know, the little weenie dogs, a skeleton dachshund, there's skeleton cats. We have a skeleton crow at my store, Peddler and the Crow. We have a skeleton crow. I've got my skeleton mermaid hanging in the window right here. So, I mean, and we've got skulls and yet that's okay. You know, that's okay because that's Halloween. But that truly is the ancestor. You know what I mean? That's truly life, death, and then the rebirth. If we think about Samhain, that is the rebirth of the ancestor. It's a rebirthing. It's a rebirthing. It's that time of remembering and working with. Only I work with the ancestors all the time. It's part of my tradition. So, anyway, I don't find it gross. I don't find it offensive. I find it beyond disturbing when the animal is taken for the purpose of sport, when the animal is taken for the purpose of just selling things for greed. And I know that, and I can only do my part as far as researching that those things are ethical, you know, that they've been ethically sourced. The rabbit pelt, has it been ethically sourced? Doubtful. You know, I would imagine that is what the rabbits are raised for. My take on that is that they at least process the meat to the meat markets for rabbit. I don't know. I know that I'm not going to kill it. I know that I'm not, you know, it's not that I'm sitting here. I am supporting it, but it gets a sacred place, I guess. It's, I take such care of, spiritual care of all of these items. These are tools. These are spiritual tools. These are all ancestors. These are all ancestors. The ancestors. And they are treated with the utmost utmost respect and honor and that I can possibly muster. Even my bone set that I use for divination, anything that I collect that goes into my bone pouch is given respect, it's given honor, and it's not forgotten. So, all right, you guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I had a little something extra other that I was going to do, but I can't do it right now, and hopefully I'll do that one day and show you. All right. So in the meantime, have a great week. Those of you who celebrate Lunasa, or the first harvest, some refer to it as Lammas, I wish you a season of abundance and joy and success in what it is that you're doing. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I do. Thank you. Bye.